Hey YouTubers, I was working on a little home improvement project yesterday and using a number of tools, and two of the tools in particular that I used extensively were I received as gifts. And I thought I might make a short little video on my 5 favorite tools that I have received as gifts. Hopefully this may give you some ideas on what to get the handyman or woman in your life. If you find this video helpful, please like and subscribe. Thanks. The most expensive item on my 5 favorite tool gifts is this rigid shop vac. It mounts on the wall. It's a wet-dry vacuum. They call it the cleaning station. I received this about 10 years ago. You can see it's quite faded, but it still works great. You can detach it from the wall, but I leave it here 99% of the time. It's wonderful for vacuuming out the cars. Let me kind of walk you through a couple of my favorite things about it. Well, the 5-gallon capacity, I only empty this thing maybe once or twice a year. It holds a lot of debris, and it's got a very big filter inside. The filters are available either individually or in pairs. If you buy them 2 at a time, they're cheaper. But one filter you can, unless you get it wet, once you get it wet, it's kind of done. But you can blow it off with air and use it over and over again. It's got a long cord on it that you coil up the excess cord behind the vacuum, and it clips into this wall mount, and you get 2 long wand extensions. There's a floor attachment, a brush attachment, and 2 nozzles, a skinny and a standard, and all that fits in this little basket here on the side. You've got a short flexible hose that you put on the end of this longer hose, and I bought an additional extension hose. So without taking this off the wall, I can go all the way to the far end of the garage and vacuum the trunk out of the car with the car pointing with the front end towards the vacuum cleaner. So it'll reach all the way back to the back of the car and give me plenty of room. It has a diffuser here that used to have a foam material inside to muffle the sound. That foam has dry rotted and fallen apart years ago, but the diffuser is still helpful because the exhaust air can be directed to go upward instead of blowing straight out this way. Other than that, it still functions 100% as it did as new. Actually, my wife had the box for this in the back seat of her car, and she came home from Home Depot, and I was in the garage and I saw it, and I told her, don't even bother wrapping it. I'm going to put this right on the wall and put it right to use. And I use this thing every single week. Like I said, I've been using it 10 years, and it's awesome. So I highly recommend it. Go ahead and buy the extra long hose, and then you don't have to detach it and unplug it and move it closer to the other side of the garage. You can just reach your whole garage with this. It also comes in handy. I've used it to blow debris out of the garage and to blow dry the cars. Just plug it in, instead of plugging it in where you vacuum here, plug the hose in here on the exhaust port, and you can use it as a blower. So it's a really handy thing. I think they sell nowadays for 189 bucks. I really, really highly recommend it. I even had our UPS driver who comes in the garage to drop off packages ask me, where did I get this, because he wants one. Awesome, awesome vacuum. I can't say enough good things about it. Okay, so I've talked about the rigid vacuum station, which I absolutely love. The other items on my list are much smaller and much less expensive. First thing I want to talk about is this Handy Cut. This is a Craftsman tool that Sears introduced, I think, 20 years ago. And it's one of those things, I received it as a gift from a relative, and I thought, gee, thanks, that's swell. But let me tell you, I use this thing all the time, and it makes really great clean cuts on things like rope, irrigation pipe, things like that. I use it way more than I thought I would, and it makes difficult jobs easy. Now, Sears, I don't think, makes this anymore. I still have some of the replacement blades, and they also make a replacement cutting block. But thankfully, although Sears doesn't make it anymore that I know of, a lot of other companies have come out with their own version of this same tool. So there's plenty of tools out there. I'd recommend that whichever one you get, make sure it's quality construction and that you can buy replacement blades and cutting blocks for it. And you might even want to go ahead and pick up an extra set of blades and a cutting block when you buy your original tool, just so you know you'll have them when you need them. But great tool. I don't know what I'd do without it. Next up is I received this Milwaukee LED light a few Christmases ago. And I have a lot of lights, flashlights, shop lights, work lights. And so when I got this one, I thought, again, gee, thanks. But let me tell you, I use this thing every single time I work on any of my vehicles or my lawnmower, because it is so small and so bright that I can get it into tight little spaces and get the light I need to make the job easier. It uses 2 AA batteries, which last a very long time. The end of it here is magnetic, so you can stick it to something and turn it whichever direction you want. It also has, underneath this pocket clip, another magnet here, so you can stick it to something in this orientation or in this orientation. Like I say, it gets into tight spots, gives you a lot of light, and I use it quite a bit more than I ever imagined I would. Another great gift idea. Next up is this mini torch. Now, these are readily available. There's lots of different companies making them. This one is Forney. I don't know if they still make them anymore, but I've seen ones that look exactly like this under a different brand name. They fall down into 2 different types. Some of them you refill with a butane tank, and some of them, like this one, use disposable lighters. I prefer the ones that use disposable lighters because the ones that I've had that use butane, I've found that over time the butane leaks out. And so this is very easy. You just drop the lighter down in there like that, put the end on it. It's got a little safety release here, and there you go. Really comes in handy. I use this a lot for shrinking heat shrink tubing, heating up things that I want to bend or melt, softening up irrigation system pipe that I want to push over a fitting. One of those tools that I don't know how I ever got along without it. Very inexpensive. It's a great gift if somebody doesn't already have a torch. And last on my list is this Anker Boulder flashlight. Like I say, I've bought lots of lights over the years, and I bought some that are very powerful but eat up batteries fast. I bought some that have terrible beam patterns or aren't very bright. I've had ones that you had to shake them and bang on them and take the batteries in and out to make them work. The thing I love about the Anker, they're cheap, they're well made, it has a great beam pattern. You may see the light flickering on your video, but it doesn't do that in real life. I like that it has a very wide beam here. It comes in handy when you're walking. You can see the ground, but it's also got a very intense spot in the middle that reaches out a long way. It's powered by 3 AAA batteries, which are not my favorite batteries, but I like the size, I like the brightness, I like the battery life, and I like the price on these. These are not very expensive, and so of all the flashlights I've got, this one I received as a gift is the one that I carry with me in my truck all the time. So I really do enjoy it. And I've decided to throw in one more bonus gift idea. Years ago, my wife got me a pair of these Fiskars titanium nitrate blade scissors. These actually have a slightly serrated edge on them. They're super heavy duty scissors. And that little serrated edge there, when you go to cut something, it keeps it from pushing out of the jaws. It holds it still so you can cut on it. These things are extremely strong and cut heavy material, canvas, cloth. I've used them to cut wire. They'll cut just about anything you can get in the jaws of the thing. I've tried to cut things that are really too thick. I've had to bear down with both hands, and the handles don't break. They're really heavy duty, and it keeps me from messing up her good scissors working on my project. So this was a gift for me, but I think she enjoys these as much as I do because I don't mess with her scissors. So a good pair of these heavy duty shears for your shop is a great idea. So I hope you found these helpful, and perhaps one of these would be just perfect for the handy person in your life. Thank you.